On an isolated island located in the middle of nowhere lies Nano Nakajima, a shy and compassionate boy. 6 months ago, he enrolled at an exclusive academy brimming with students, each possessing paranormal abilities referred to as talents. In class, Nano constantly gets bullied by his peers for being talentless and geeky. Amongst the bullies is Magu Ijima, a pyrokinetic who forces Nano to complete his homework. Moments later, the commotion in the class settles as their homeroom teacher enters the room. Being the dynamic speaker, their homeroom teacher passionately reminds the students that their mission is to eliminate the enemies of humanity that appeared 50 years ago. Seeing no reaction from the students, the homeroom teacher moves on to welcome a new transfer student, Kaiuya Onodra, a silent and straightforward boy. Next up, the homeroom teacher welcomes Nana Hiragi. Unlike Kaiuya, she is a clumsy, talkative, and extroverted girl. Nana quickly goes on to reveal that her talent is mind reading, although she lacks ability to read the room. She then takes a seat beside Nana, who feels a rush of nervousness, since he never had a girl as charming as her sit next to him. Fascinated by his personality, Nana employs her talent and learns about Nano's recent experiences with bullies. She then proceeds to inquire about Nano, wanting to understand how constant bullying has affected him. However, her inquiry is interrupted by Magu, who arrogantly slams Nano's head on the table. Infuriated, Nana uses her talent to reveal Magu's deepest desires, and it turns out he wanted to ask Nana out on a date, much to his embarrassment in front of the whole class. Suddenly, the homeroom teacher reminds the students about his presence. Before he could reveal his true intentions, Nana reads his mind and announces that their class needs a representative. Several students volunteer, including Magu and Sayakori, two of the academy's most talented individuals. However, Nana has a different idea, as she encourages Nao to take on the role of class representative. As the situation begins to worsen, Kaiuya joins the conversation, suggesting that the candidates should fight for the position. In the evening, Nano escorts Nana to a nearby cliff. As the two take in the serene atmosphere of the ocean, Nana expresses her curiosity about Nano's talent. Poised, he goes on to state that disclosing his talent could potentially pose a risk, since there are rumors about powerful enemies infiltrating their ranks, killing the heroes from the shadows. As dawn broke, the students gathered in the stadium to spectate the battle. Nana decided to cowardly sit on the sidelines, thinking that he lacks the essential skills to become a leader, while Magu and Seiya begin their duel. Magu unleashes the first attack, using his fire fist, but Seiya utilizes his flexibility and superior speed to dodge Magu's attacks while simultaneously launching a counterattack. Seiya then immobilized Magu using his ice magic, pinning him to the ground. Filled with humiliation, Magu breaks through the ice and employs a devastating fireball. Instantly, with a rush of adrenaline, Nano jumps in the line of fire, neutralizing the attack without breaking a sweat. Coerced, Nano informs everyone that he possesses the talent to neutralize other abilities. Immediately, Nano becomes the talk of town as the majority of students vote for Nano to become the class representative. The same evening, Nano accompanies Nana to the same cliff and shares his disbelief about being the leader of the heroes. During their exchange, Nana suddenly pushes Nano off the cliff, revealing she is a normal girl who has mastered the art of perception and declares that talents are the true enemy of humanity. 50 years ago, the enemies of humanity made their first appearance, destroying a city and killing countless in a matter of seconds. The enemy was neither a monster nor an alien in reality. It was a human who possessed a corrupt paranormal talent. Without warning, citizens around the world began manifesting unique abilities called talents and used them for their own benefits. Realizing the consequences, governments around the world began recruiting talented individuals, creating a special police unit of talents. However, their countermeasure backfired, as talents around the world plotted rebellious schemes to overthrow the world governments. After 5 years of constant bloodshed, humanity preserved and won the war between the talented and the talentless. Over time, governments around the world embraced the existence of the talented. However, they still deemed them as a threat. As for the countermeasure, the governments isolated the talented into so-called national training academies, making them believe that they are the saviors of humanity. In the present time, with an eagle's eye, Nana keenly observes the entire class while they train above the pond. Recalling how she was commanded by the committee to eliminate each talented individual inhabiting the island. Seeing their immature conduct, Nana affirms that eliminating the talented individuals is the accurate choice. As they continue training, Seiya immaculately displays his ice talent by freezing the pond, forcing everyone to return to the academy. In class, Nana notices that Magu has started bullying other students. Jaded, Nana rolls her eyeballs, and in a flash, Magu finds himself beaten on the ground. The entirety of the class's attention shifts towards Yaoi Shibusawa, an ignorant self-appointed hero of justice. Amazed, the class is left in awe. However, Nana senses the abnormality of the situation. Phased, she elects Yaoi as her next target. During lunch, leveraging the art of perception, Nana strives to uncover the secret behind Yaoi's talent. She discloses that Yaoi's talent is related to time manipulation. Realizing the inevitability, Yaoi goes on to state that he is able to time travel to the past. Instantly, Kaguya appears behind Nana. He calmly plays with Nana's hair, revealing that Nana has gone missing, alerting Yaoi. He then informs Yaoi that Nana was last seen with Nana right after becoming the class leader. Nervous, Nana cunningly diverts the conversation to Kaguya by timidly standing up. She then raises Yaoi's concern regarding Kaguya's true identity. In the evening, determined, Yaoi employs his talent of time travel to keenly investigate the past. However, each time leap results in a failure. As he continues his time leap, Nana implements her plans, leading Yaoi to the frozen pond. In that period, Yaoi deploys his time leap, causing him to drown in agony. The next morning, several students, including Magu and Seiya, are concerned about Nano and Yaoi's sudden disappearance. Acknowledging the consequences of being discovered, Nana decides to proceed with caution. Out of the blue, Seiya presses Nana against a wall, urging her to read his mind. Anxious, Nana goes on to state that Seiya's girlfriend might get enraged, witnessing his current stance. As always, Nana impresses Seiya and the others with her talent. Meanwhile, Kaguya enters the conversation, guessing that Seiya walked to class with his girlfriend under the same umbrellas, since both have their sides wet due to the rain. Nana then follows Kaguya back to his dorm room. In a hallway, Kaguya seems more talkative as he asks Nana to consider being his friend and invites her to his room. Upon entering the room, all of Nana's hopes of reading Kaguya go down the drain as his room is an utter mess. After making space, Kaguya and Nana begin their retro gaming session. During the gameplay, Kaguya shares his insecurities for being unapproachable. He then asks Nana for her advice. Being the most popular girl in school, Nana coincidentally affirms that the secret recipe to bond with others is to hunt for common interests or weaknesses. During their conversation, Kaguya reveals that he tends to obsess over topics that pique his interest, and recently, Nano's sudden disappearance has greatly troubled him. Intrigued, Nana asks him why he is obsessed with Nano, a simpleton nobody. Being a family man, Kaguya goes on to reveal that his sister came to the island prior to him. However, she has gone missing much like Nano. As the night, Nana gets ready to return to her dormitory. But before she could leave, Kaguya reveals Nano's expensive watch. He then calmly asks Nana to accompany him to the infamous cliff. There, Kaguya goes on to reveal that he traversed the entire island until one day he found a broken safety rope at the edge of the cliff and Nano's expensive watch in the rocks below with its hands paused at 6:10, demonstrating his observant nature. Kaguya then asks Nana about his involvement with Nano on the 13th. However, composed, she acts normally and denies any knowledge of Nano's whereabouts at the spoken time. The following morning, Kaguya and Nana secretly confront their homeroom teacher, revealing the tragedy that befell Nano. Kaguya clearly explains the entire situation and urges the teacher to contact Nano's parents. Panicked, the teacher clumsily attempts to contact the higher-ups, giving Kaguya an indication about their incompetence. As they leave, Kaguya returns to his room and proceeds to activate the gas supply, leading to a colossal explosion. Outside the dorm, Nana is eagerly standing, wanting to discover Kaguya's mysterious talent. In a sudden twist of fate, Kaguya comes flying out of the infernal building. As he mysteriously heals, Kaguya grabs Nana by her leg, inquiring about her immediate arrival. Anxious, Nana finds herself at a loss of words. However, recovered Kaguya apologies for his abrupt behavior and leaves the site, prompting Nana to be more decisive. The next day in class, Seiya, Mangu, and Kaguya discuss the sudden disappearance of Yaoi, alarming the students. Amidst the conversation, Kaguya suggests that both Nano and Yaoi might have been killed by the enemies of humanity. Nana secretly overhears their conversation, understanding that Kaguya is a significant obstacle to her mission. At that point, Mikairu and her friends enter the class. Karara Habu announces that Mikairu received a love letter from a mysterious boy. Upon reading the letter, they discover that a boy from another class has been stalking Mikairu. Embarrassed, Mikairu looks around the room and spots a burn on Nana's legs. She approaches Nana, and with her unique ability to heal wounds, she begins to heal a burn, leaving Nana flustered. As their class ends, Nana notices that Kaguya has been stalking her. However, upon confrontation, he calmly evades the topic and leaves. Alerted, Nana walks to the garden, where she finds Mikairu impatiently waiting for the mysterious boy. Nana acts compassionately, exposing her friends hiding by the bush. She then reveals that Mikairu's friends wrote the letter themselves. Feeling betrayed, Mikairu begins to sob since she considered them as her real friends. At night, in the girls' dormitory, Nana comprehends Mikairu's angel-like ability. Keeping that in mind, she comes up with a plan to inflict a fatal wound on Mikairu's back. Equipped with a weapon, Nana unlocks her door. Out of nowhere, she sees Kaiwuya serenely seated beside her room. Upon inquiring, Kaiwuya proceeds to disclose his worries about the enemies of humanity attacking Nana. He then asks Nana to sleep without worries while he guards the dormitory. Locked inside, Nana begins to play loud music, alarming Kaiwuya. Instantly, Kaiwuya exits the dorm and notices Nana fleeing from her room. Anxious, Kaiwuya chases after Nana, remembering that she has been acting friendly with Mikairu, much like she did with Nano. He hastily makes his way to Mikairu's room, discovering that Nana has been attacked by the enemies of humanity. With her strained voice, Nana informs Kaiwuya that an invisible enemy attacked her, diverting his suspicion. In reality, moments ago, Nana cunningly attacked herself to imitate a homicide, making Kaiwuya believe that she is a victim. The following day in class, Kaiwuya interrogates Mikairu and Nana intensely about the events of the previous night. Nana explains that she heard an inner voice, presumably from an enemy, planning to harm Mikairu. Alarmed, she quickly made her way to Mikairu's room. Suddenly, she was attacked from behind, and the rest is history. As their intense exchange continues, Seiya and Mamu join the conversation. Concerned, they create a commotion in class, revealing the details of the previous night's events. Magu then shifts the conversation towards selecting the new class representative. Once again, several students volunteer for the position, although Mikairu suggests that Nana should be their next leader. In the evening, Kaiwuya privately congratulates Nana on attaining the role of class rep and apologies for suspecting her. However, Nana sees through his facade, knowing that he is putting up an act. As soon as Kaiwuya returns to his dorm, he begins playing the infamous retro game. While playing, Kaiwuya guessed that Nana must have stabbed herself using a sharp object and predicted that Mikairu would heal her no matter the cost. Yet, he has no proof supporting his theories. In the girls' dormitory, Nana deviously crafts a poison to eliminate Kaiwuya, assuming that he might possess immunity to physical damage. As she's about to enter the male dorms, Tsunakichi Hadadera intercepts her plans. Being a carefree man, Tsunakichi shows Nana a photo of herself killing him at exactly 10 p.m. He then accompanies Nana to the cafe, demonstrating his power of photographing the future. Nana dismisses Tsunakichi's allegations until he reveals a photograph of her, pushing Nano off the cliff. While making her case, Nana notices that Tsunakichi is a lonely person with no intentions of revealing her secret. Instead, he seems determined to blackmail her. Bored, Tsunakichi casually mentions that he has never seen an enemy of humanity in his premonitions. To alleviate his boredom, he pressures Nana into becoming his girlfriend. Reluctantly, Nana accompanies Tsunakichi to his room. Once there, Nana gives him a back massage while inquiring about using his talent to save humanity. He lightly smirks at her proposition, suggesting that the future is inevitable. Growing irritated, Nana deliberately pressures Tsunakichi's acupuncture points. However, he calmly reveals that his premonition showed his death occurring at 10 p.m. of an unknown date. Until then, fate is on his side. He then adds that the future beyond his photographs is uncertain, implying that he might not die. As the night grows younger, Tsunakichi goes to bed while Nana investigates her surroundings. She then finds his camera placed on a shelf. With her curiosity piqued, Nana takes a few photos, discovering that Tsunakichi's premonitions are related to his dreams. As she goes through the new premonitions, Nana discovers a terrifying future. In the morning, Tsunakichi finds 4 different premonitions on his bed. He slowly approaches Nana, revealing that he can receive 5 premonitions. His hands reach into Nana's pocket, where Tsunakichi uncovers a photograph depicting Nana being strangled to death. Overjoyed, he decides to take a bath. Meanwhile, Nana prepares to change the future by killing Tsunakichi on the spot. Suddenly, she overhears Magu and the other students standing in the hallway, disrupting her plans. Nana then masterfully tampers with Tsunakichi's watch and leaves the room. Later, Nana stealthily conceals herself at the predicted location, aiming to catch Tsunakichi off guard. As he approaches the shed, Nana accidentally drops her poison needles but doesn't lose her determination to strangle him to death, just as the photo had foretold. However, Tsunakichi had already anticipated her intentions. He swiftly frees himself and delivers a headbutt to Nana, sending her sprawling to the ground. In a disturbing turn of events, he attempts to assault Nana. But fate takes an unexpected twist as Nana manages to retrieve her poison needles and swiftly eliminates Tsunakichi. In his final moments, Nana unveils the truth. She had fabricated the 5th premonition, tricking Tsunakichi into believing he had won. Suddenly, the lights flicker to life as Kaiwuya and Mikairu enter the room. Without hesitation, Kaiwuya begins interrogating Nana. She remains composed as Kaiwuya reveals that he investigated Tsunakichi's room and found a photo of Nana seemingly being strangled to death. With a penitent tone, Nana sadly tells how Tsunakichi blackmailed her using her private photos. Nana then returns to Tsunakichi's room to gather all the photographs. Unexpectedly, Kaiwuya interrupts her search, scrutinizing one of Nana's photographs. He suggests that someone may have fabricated the image since the rope around her neck appears to be double-wrapped. While Kaiwuya continues his investigation, Nana goes back to the murder site, where Mikairu has discovered a photo of Nana pushing Nano off the cliff. Confused, Mikairu hands the picture to Nana, eager to uncover its origins. Thinking quickly, Nana crafts a fabricated story suggesting that Tsunakichi had concealed his true talent from the class. She explains that Tsunakichi's actual talent is the ability to photograph his dreams, and the photo of Nana pushing Nano off the cliff was a result of his jealousy. Being blonde, Mikairu naively believes Nana's lies and even promises to keep their conversation a secret. Later that night, Kaiwuya and the others attend Tsunakichi's funeral ceremony. During the gathering, Kaiwuya questions his homeroom teacher about the ongoing police investigation of the potential homicide. To his utter shock, the homeroom teacher reveals that the island lacks a police force and the military would intervene only if matters escalated. Frustrated, Kaiwuya decides to take matters into his own hands, suggesting that Tsunakichi was killed by an enemy of humanity based on Nana's words. Approaching the casket, he intends to perform an autopsy himself, which alarms Nana. She forcefully accompanies Kaiwuya outside to discuss the cause of Tsunakichi's death and discloses that Tsunakichi died of heart failure, but Kaiwuya remains determined to perform the autopsy. Annoyed by the commotion, Shinji steps forward and employs his talent, transforming Tsunakichi into a zombie. With her amateur acting skills, Nana persuades everyone at the ceremony to let Tsunakichi rest in peace since she can hear his cries. The next morning, Nana gathers information on Shinji from his girlfriend, Yuka Sasaki. She learns that Shinji likes to be alone and his favorite hobby is cutting class. Later that night, Kaiwuya encounters Nana stalking Shinji and Yuka from afar. However, their presence is noticed by the young couple. As they converse, Yuka reveals that she and Shinji are childhood sweethearts, leaving Nana and Kaiwuya in awe. On the following day, while the rest of the class is training, Nana slips out through the window and enters the male dormitory. She uses her poison needle on Shinji, eliminating the Master of Death, and then swiftly returns to the girls' dormitory, planning to kill Yuka in her sleep. Unexpectedly, Yuka reveals that she already knew of Nana's past deeds, as she is the real necromancer and Shinji is a zombie controlled by her. Despite being pinned down, Nana, with an evil smirk, confesses that she killed Nano, Tsunakichi, and Yaore. With nowhere to run, Nana strives to blackmail Yuka, threatening to expose her deepest secrets in front of the class. However, Yuka, understanding her leveraged position, calmly calls it a bluff. Cornered, Nana executes another bluff. She offers to read Shinji's thoughts, revealing that her powers extend to the dead. Indecisive, Yuka falls for Nana's bluff and releases her. Nana takes advantage of the opportunity and escapes into the forest. While hiding, Nana notices Yuka wearing Tsunakichi's necklace. Upon inquiring, Yuka reveals that necromancy requires equipment of the dead. The rat chase continues as Nana desperately attempts to steal Tsunakichi's belongings from Yuka. When things begin to align in Nana's favor, Yuka unleashes her trump card, reviving several dead students and teachers buried in the forest, leaving Nana confused. One of the dead students possessed the talent of night vision, giving Yuka the ability to perceive Nana's current location. Surrounded by zombies, Nana runs inside an abandoned cabin. As she investigates her surroundings, Nana discovers that the cabin can be locked from the outside. After carefully analyzing Yuka's ability, Nana theories that Yuka's necromancy is most effective at night. However, she lacks any solid proof to support her theory. Suddenly, Yuka and Shinji discover her location. Yuka tempts Nana into stepping out of the cabin, but Nana feels trapped, unsure of her next move. Impatient, Yuka locks the cabin and leaves alongside Shinji, confining Nana. The next morning, Yuka returns to class as usual. Once there, the obsessive Kaiwuya asks about Nana's absence, but she denies any knowledge of her whereabouts. In the afternoon, Yuka returns to her dorm with Shinji on her back. Unexpectedly, Nana appears behind them. She swiftly snatches Shinji's relics and compels Yuka to accompany her. On the infamous cliff, Nana explains that she raided the cabin door, unlocking it with ease. With her perception skills, Nana exposes Yuka for killing Shinji and transforming him into a puppet. Pressed, Yuka explains that Shinji loved another girl, so she killed him, gaining control over him. Infuriated, Nana employs her poisonous needle to eliminate both Yuka and Shinji. Nana then disposes of Yuka's corpse by tossing it off the cliff and notices that several zombies, including Shinji's, have begun decomposing. With another target eliminated, Nana decides to make use of the corpses to her advantage, ensuring no suspicion falls on her. As she walks through the dense forest, Nana encounters Karara, hunting for poisonous animals. Nana presumes that Karara likes to torment animals, much like she bullies Mikairu. However, Karara explains that her talent involves creating poisonous liquids using her body fluids. This strange process requires Karara to constantly consume poisonous animals. Nana then asks Karara about why she isn't with her friend Kaori. To her surprise, Karara and Kaori had a heated argument, making them break their ties. Seizing the opportunity, Nana deviously eliminates Karara, gaining access to her belongings. She quickly enters the girls' dormitory and covertly infiltrates Kaori's room. Nana carefully transfers her poison into Kaori's colored contact lenses. Without hesitation, she exits the room and heads to class. Later, in a distressed tone, she informs Kaiuya about Yuka and Shinji's deaths. She then politely requests Kaiuya, Seiya, Mangu, and Mikharu to accompany her to the infamous cliff. On their way, Nana explains that Yuko was the true necromancer, and she was the one who killed Shinji due to her strange obsession with him. As she continues her explanation, Nana reveals that Yuka and her army of zombies attempted to kill her until she heard Shinji's inner voice confessing his love for Yuka. Overcome with shame, Yuka jumped off the cliff, hoping to join Shinji in heaven. In a gentle tone, Nana asks Magen to cremate all the corpses. Confused, everyone walks back to the girls' dormitory. Seiya decides to inform the class about Yuka's death and her true nature. However, Nana distressfully intervenes, claiming that the enemies of humanity had been controlling her mind, concluding that Yuka was innocent. Annoyed, Kaiuya joins the conversation and bluntly states that the enemies of humanity only strike when Nana is with the victim, as seen with Nano, Tsunakichi, Yuka, and Shinji. Suddenly, a scream from within the dorms diverts their attention. As the group makes their way inside, they discover Kaori's lifeless body on the ground. Instantly, Kaiuya inspects Kaori's lens case, consuming its contents without hesitation. In moments, he collapses in agony, realizing that Kaori was a victim of homicide. As everyone gathers in the room, Kaiuya accuses Nana of Kaori's murder. To support his claims, he theorized that Nana killed Karara in the forest and took her phone. She then swiftly entered Kaori's room to set her trap, laying the groundwork. Eventually, she returned to class, informing them about the recent events. While walking back to the dorm, Nana sent a text to Kaori's cell phone, apologizing on Karara's behalf. Reading the text, Kaori returned to her room and applied her contacts. To prove his theory, Kaiuya thoroughly searches through Nana's clothes, hoping to find Karara's cell phone. Even though Kaiuya's theory was spot on, he couldn't find the phone on Nana. Inside her mind, Nana breathed a sigh of relief, realizing it was a close call. Earlier that morning, she had planned to hide the phone in her pocket. However, Nana chose a riskier but potentially higher reward approach. She placed the phone beneath a corpse's finger, hoping it would dissolve over time to send the text. Nana's gamble paid off as everyone present at the scene began blaming Kaiuya, causing uproar. To solidify her results, Nana informed everyone that Karara's spirit voice was apologizing to them, suggesting they should avoid suspecting other classmates. As she extended her hand, Kaiuya announced that he would guard Kaori's body until the next dawn. At night, Nana remains outside the dormitory, patrolling the area. Worried, Mikharu joins her and offers to stand guard, giving Nana a chance to rest. Unexpectedly, Mikharu shifts her demeanor and asks Nana to reaffirm her talent while holding a knife to her throat. Mikharu notices the lack of reaction from Nana, indicating that she lacks the ability of a telepath. The next morning at school, Mikharu deviously continues to taunt Nana, threatening to reveal her secret. However, with her powers of perception, Nana deftly avoids any mishaps. In the evening, Nana confronts Mikharu on the infamous cliff, questioning her true identity. Impressed, Mikharu transforms into a dashing man named Jin Takabana. He casually accuses Nana of being a serial killer and asks her to follow him. In an old building, Jin reveals himself to be the cat that Kaiuya has been feeding since day one. With his unique talent, he has been spying on Nana while she kills several students. Seeing the confusion on Nana's face, Jin explains that 5 years ago he was a student at the academy. His classmates were deeply entrenched in the illusion of power, initiating a civil war between two factions of students, resulting in the deaths of everyone on the island. He took the opportunity to escape back to his home city, where he discovered various organizations wanted to eliminate talented individuals. Fearful, he returned to the island, only to find new students like Nana and Kaiuya enrolling at the academy. Jin then proposes to strike a deal with Nana, but suddenly falls to his knees, realizing that she had poisoned his coffee. Relaxed, Nana prepares to return to the dormitories. However, in an instant, Jin transforms into Kaiuya, then Mikharu and Seiya, copying their powers. With a malevolent look in his eyes, Jin reveals himself to be the victor of the battle royale that occurred 5 years ago, alerting Nana that he is the true enemy of humanity. After a grave struggle, Nana manages to escape from Jin's clutches. However, determined, Jin catches up to her. He transforms into Magu, employing his pyrokinesis to severely injure Nana. As Jin approaches Nana, he apologizes, explaining that he requires intensive training to gain control over his transformations. Before losing consciousness, Jin explains that the island is filled with arrogant children who lack the proper training to handle frustration and how this kind of behavior is inevitable since the faculty slacks off when it comes to teaching. The next morning, Nana wakes up in Mikairu's room and informs her about the events of the previous night with the enemies of humanity. As they converse, Mikairu innocently asks Nana how she possesses an iron, while despite going through so many traumas. Unintentionally, Nana informs Mikairu that her parents were killed by a burglar who was a talented individual. Seeing her sincere reactions tempts Nana into giving her a free pass. However, deep down, Nana suspects that Mikairu must possess a dark side, much like Yuka and the others. Later that night, uninvited, Jin arrives at Nana's room and politely asks about her condition. As Nana alleviates his concerns, Mikairu arrives at the door. She glances around the room, impressed with its tidiness. Reluctantly, Mikairu inquires about Nana's past. In a remorseful tone, Nana proceeds to explain that she was a messy kid who constantly played games like chess and shogi and was obsessed with manga. One night, she sneaked out of her window to buy a new manga. As she read the manga from cover to cover, exhaustion overcame her and she went to sleep. The next morning, she walked downstairs, smelling the scent of blood. It turns out a burglar had entered their house through the open window and killed her parents. The following morning, Kaibuya abruptly enters Nana's room and then asks Mikairu if she kept a close eye on Nana while she slept. Composed, Mikairu testifies that Nana stayed in the room the entire night. The three of them proceed to enter the boys' dorm where they discover Ryuji Ishii's dead body. Anxious and puzzled, Nana contemplates the identity of the second murderer alongside her. With Nana on the scene, Kaibuya instantly begins his investigation. He asks Mago about his whereabouts the previous night. Anxious, Mago explains that he was hosting an inspirational session with his three lackeys. Upon further inquiry, Kaibuya learns that Renteru is able to astral project his body, performing various tasks like flushing the toilet. He deduces that none of their talents were competent enough to kill Ryuji. The investigation continues as Fuuko Serrano comes forward. Being the last person in contact with Ryuji, Kaibuya compels Fuuko to reveal her talent. Outside the dorm, Fuuko explains her talent to control atmospheric pressure. Curious, Kaibuya willingly becomes a target, pressuring Fuuko into attacking him. Suddenly, the air around them begins to change as Fuuko conjures a wind blade, severely injuring Kaibuya. Fuuko then reveals that controlling her powers without ventilation proves to be a hindrance. Immediately, both Kaibuya and Nana simultaneously recall that the windows inside Ryuji's room were open. Nana then returns to the dorm with Mikairu and notices her strange behavior. Nana's suspicion becomes rock solid as Mikairu begins discussing their future, revealing that she wants to become a doctor. As they exchange words, Mikairu invites Nana to live with her parents after graduation, infuriating Nana. Isolated, Nana regrets displaying her emotions bluntly in front of Mikairu when their homeroom teacher knocks on the door. He gives her a uniform to replace the one that got burned by the enemy of humanity. Like a lightning bolt, Nana recalls that she left her poison bottle in the old uniform, guessing that Mikairu might have discovered it. Suddenly, Kaibuya arrives at her dorm, informing Nana about his strange encounter with Mikairu. To her utter shock, Mikairu restrained herself from handing Kaibuya the poison bottle. Kaibuya and Nana then further investigate the murder by interrogating Fuuko. However, none of their efforts bear any fruit as Fuuko reveals that she was staying with her friend. After a hopeless struggle, Nana decides to investigate Mikairu's room, searching for the poison liquid. Unknowingly, she stumbles upon her diary in which Mikairu recorded all the moments she spent with Nana. Out of the blue, Jin appears behind her, handing over the poison bottle to Nana. Jin then notices that Mikairu has been in the shower for far too long. Immediately, Nana rushes to the bathroom, discovering Mikairu lying unconscious. Conflicted, she carries Mikairu out of the bath while constantly questioning her own motives. Nervous, Nana enters the boys' dormitory to ask Kaibuya for assistance. However, he turns out to be busy performing an autopsy on Ryuji. Still, he lends Nana all the necessary medicines needed to keep Mikairu stable. As he finishes the autopsy, Kaibuya rushes towards Nana's room. Once there, he carefully examines Mikairu, concluding that her condition is not related to bacteria. Later that day, Fuuko enters Nana's room, offering to lend her a hand. Alert, Nana refuses her proposal and advises Fuuko to deal with her own trauma. As she leaves, Nana theorizes that Mikairu must have some evidence regarding Ryuji's murder, making her the lead target. As all of this goes through her mind, Nana questions herself once again. Yet, for some reason, she refuses to abandon Mikairu. The next day, Mikairu finally regains consciousness, allowing Nana to breathe a sigh of relief. Upon inquiring, Mikairu explains that she healed 2 cats in the dormitory, leading her to complete exhaustion. At the facility HQ, several mysterious entities receive a report, briefing that Nana has killed several students on the island. Impressed, they compliment Tatsumi Tsurioka for training her diligently. Back on the island, Mikharu and Nana serenely sit down to play a game of shogi. During their gameplay, Mikharu discloses that she arrived at the island 3 years ago and was constantly bullied by other girls due to her talent. However, one day, Mikharu befriended her classmate Hitomi, who constantly protected Mikharu from the bullies. As time passed, Mikharu discovered that Hitomi had been diagnosed with terminal cancer long before she met her. Soon after, Hitomi passed away while Mikharu couldn't accomplish anything for her. Regretful, Nana exits the room, questioning her own mission. Mikharu calmly enters Nana's room, compelling Nana to recall the day her parents died. She then asks Nana about the state of her room when she woke up that day, confusing Nana. As she dwells on the past, Nana recalls that her room was spotless, indicating that her parents cleaned the room in the middle of the night. Mikharu then explains that her kind and attentive parents would never leave the window open, leading Nana to believe that their murder wasn't her fault. Mikharu then hugs Nana, leaving her surprised and conflicted simultaneously. The next morning, the supply ship arrives. Nana visits the courtyard to pick a special gift for her new friend. In the evening, Nana gives Mikharu a cute pen, while Mikharu gives a pillow to Nana. As the night reaches its peak, Jin appears outside Nana's room, informing her about Mikharu's secret meeting with a mysterious person at the old cottage near the ocean. Immediately, Nana makes her way to the ocean. While running, she decides to alert Kaiuya regarding the recent events. However, her attention is diverted as Nana's mentor, Tatsumi, contacts her. He informs Nana that her compensations were expended on her relatives, while her future compensations will grant scholarships to orphan children, reminding Nana of her mission. Near the ocean, Mikharu is being attacked by a mysterious person. As he's about to kill Mikharu, Nana intervenes and jumps in the line of action, severely getting injured. She exposes Rentaru for exploiting his astral projection to kill Ryuji and attack Mikharu. With no options left, Nana employs herself as a human shield, giving Mikharu the opportunity to escape. Back at the school grounds, Kaiuya discovers Rentaru's real body. He quickly immobilizes Rentaru, ending his killing spree. On the beach, Nana is on the verge of death, and as Mikharu arrives on the scene, she instantly transfers all of her life energy to Nana, leading to her own death. Seeing her lifeless body, Nana sobs as she recalls all the moments she spent with Mikharu. If you like what you saw, consider subscribing to the channel and stay tuned for more quality uploads.